Welcome back to the second draft, where we are in contention as to which sucked worse this weekend, Star Wars The Last Jedi or the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
I'm going to go with
split decision.
Yeah. They were both pretty effing terrible. But we don't need to get into that. Let's get right into this week's games. Let's just, you know what? We got one more week before the season ends. Let's end with a bang. So.
All right. Well, this isn't going to be much of a bang to start with.
This is not a bang, wow.
The Colts are playing in Baltimore against the Ravens. I'm going Ravens.
I'm going Ravens.
The Ravens need 2 victories to get into the playoffs, and this will be one of them. The Colts have nothing to play for.
Yeah, I'm also going Ravens. I have, with AB out, I don't really have a great depth in my in the league right now, going into the ship, which is unfortunate. And I don't want to start T.Y. Hilton because he's so boomer bust. So I'm picking up somebody from the waivers. So hopefully it pans out. Right now I'm thinking Martavis Bryant. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to maybe just like send me $50 in the mail, I might be persuaded to just, I accidentally dropped Tyreek Hill.
Consolation prize.
Darn. Did I drop Devontae Adams by accident? Don't cheat in fantasy football. If you do that, you're a son of a bitch.
Yeah, and you should get booted.
We don't do collusion.
We don't. All right, moving on. That was easy. I think this will be pretty easy too. Vikings are playing in Green Bay against the Packers. DT.
So I had a prediction last week that Aaron Rodgers coming back was going to throw that entire offense out of whack, and holy shit, was I right.
Yeah, very true.
The dude just could not give the ball to somebody else, and when he did, he gave it to the other team. I lost count at 3 interceptions. He may have capped off at 3 interceptions. Mm-hmm. He forgot what a running back was and just ran with the ball himself. I mean, I feel like he felt compelled to make this like his comeback game and prove everybody he was healthy enough to play. And what happened was he basically showed everybody he was not healthy enough to play, and now he's back on injured reserve, and they've lost their chance at the playoffs. I'm going Vikings.
Alex?
I'm also going to go Vikings. I think you're right, DT. I think he capped out. He was 3-3 and something like 200 something yards. He had a big day with both touchdowns and interceptions, which worked out for me because though he did put up significant points, like they were tempered by those interceptions. So.
Yeah, I'm going Vikings too. Rodgers threw 3 interceptions. And the last time he did that was 2009. So, I mean, he's definitely off his game. And the Packers are in the midst of deciding whether or not they're going to play Rodgers. They're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, so I suspect they'll sit him. No reason to.
He's back on IR. He's done.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? How?
Yep, so...
Vikings across the board, and with good reason.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm riding the Vikings train all the way. I'm on the Vikings train.
Yeah. We've all been talking about that offense, and I mean they didn't even need Thielen last week to, do good things. So
yeah.
No. So next up, this was probably gonna be unanimous too. Rams playing the Titans. Alex.
Rams. Rams are obviously gonna win this game. Did you see what happened?
The Todd
Did
Apocalypse.
you see?
Was it 4 touchdowns?
4 touchdowns.
Four.
My God,
like 180
that's
yards
disgusting.
from scrimmage or something. It was just horrific.
All
Todd
Todd
Gurley
Gurley
was
needed was
my-
not Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, last year I think I'm unfortunately like a year ahead with picks, which does not work out for me at all because I was really on the Todd Gurley train last year. I thought he should have been pick number 1, and he just didn't come out. This year though, he's obviously earned his spot. And I think the same can be said about I don't know. There's a few other players in that same boat, but holy hell, Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Just monstrous. So Rams. Bye, Titans.
Adios.
Yeah, I mean, the Titans are still in it for the playoff spot. And they definitely need this win more than the Rams do. But I'm going Rams.
Yeah, I would almost say like the Rams could lose this game if they just went out with their second string, but Even then, I don't know.
Yeah, and they clinched. I mean, the Rams clinched the division title last week, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
They might start.
I don't think they start sitting people till week 17. I
Yeah.
think they still
They might start pulling like some
Yeah.
people like fourth quarter.
Yeah, like they did last week when they absolutely trounced the Seahawks, and everybody just took a break and had some Gatorade, some orange slices.
Yeah, they kicked the crap out of them. Seattle, you're very disappointing.
Oh my god. I don't think disappointing quite covers it.
No.
For the Seahawks fans, they're heartbroken.
I would be too if I was more of a Seahawks fan. Absolutely. That's damn.
But Russell Wilson's still walking, which is a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
Be blessed.
Knock on wood. Don't jinx it.
Seriously, like, come on.
Yeah, brutal. All right, so next up, Buffalo Bills are playing at Gillette against the Patriots. I'm going for the Patriots. Bills are playing for playoffs. Patriots are playing for seeding. The Bills have more motivation, or they should have more motivation to win. They need this win. But the Patriots are clearly the better team.
Yeah.
And so Tom Brady and co get another one.
Yeah, last week I picked the Patriots, and in all honesty, the Steelers should have won last week. That was some terrible officiating. It was a call.
There's some question about that catch rule, and if it's really that obscure, y'all need to fix that.
Let's fix that before next season. Let's
Yeah.
set some serious concrete boundaries for what is a catch and what is not. Let's make sure everybody knows exactly what it is, and let's enforce the rule for what it is, because I'm tired of this shit. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I am so tired of watching and being a fan of a league where every time a team scores a touchdown, there's no celebration because they have to wait and review it, and then you get to find out later if it was a touchdown. Like, just figure it out. And we can have this whole discussion again about how the refs should be salaried and how they should be trained. They should be training in the offseason.
And penalized.
Whatever. My pick is the Patriots. I would be more inclined to take the Bills if they were playing in Buffalo, but in Gillette, it's going to be the Patriots. The Patriots have more on the line. So.
Well, the Bills have more on the line, but they're just not gonna beat the Patriots.
With that,
That's fair to say. I feel like the Patriots have more on the line as far as seeding.
But the Bills are playing for playoffs. I mean, like the Patriots are in. So.
Yeah, but I mean, the Patriots have a legitimate shot. I don't know if the Bills have a legitimate shot if they make it into the playoffs. It's a pride thing, sure, but it's.
But at the same time, we have been saying all season, or at least earlier in the season, and then in the mid-season again, that the Bills don't have a shot, and then yet here we are. So who knows what's going to happen?
True.
Yes, how are you
I don't know. You're hitting on most of the things that I would bring up. That pass catch rule. I mean, there are a couple of circumstances that it really haven't been clearly defined. There was a catch that Michael Thomas made in the Saints game that I was freaking out about because he put his right foot down and his heel was down, but his toe went out and crossed the line.
Yep.
And to me, it's like somebody dragging their foot, but they overturned it. And it was called back that beautiful 70 yards that I needed from Drew Brees. And it's stuck with me because of that. But, you know, last week, you two have both picked two different teams for that Steelers-Patriots game, and I was split down the middle. And watching that game, it's like very evident why.
I feel like we both won that pick.
I have the moral victory.
I think you have the moral victory. I concede that. Yeah, you've got the moral victory.
Yeah, and for the one person that's keeping up with our like in-house bet, it was a scratch last week. So we're all still in the same spot.
3 points separate.
I don't know. I think it goes without saying. I'm going with the Patriots this week against the Bills. I think they're the clear pick. Rex Burkhead still has something to prove in the red zone, evidently.
Yeah.
And Deion Lewis can still put up major points. Like the fact that they're doing the multi-back thing and still being super successful with it this deep into the season is a clear indicator for me that they're going to do great in the playoffs if Gronk can stay healthy and Tommy can get his touchdown on. Twommy.
I'm hoping for neither of those things to happen. All right, moving on. This is garbage game of the week. I feel like The Browns are playing at Soldier Field against the Bears.
Alex, let's have you start us off.
Oh, terrible game. Bears, I think. Yeah, Bears. I don't know. The Browns. This is their chance. I think we said it a couple weeks ago that whatever game it was, I don't remember who the Colts or somebody they were playing, was their chance. I think this is now their chance to end the streak. But yeah, they're not an excellent team. They're not great, but there's some talent there. There's a little bit. I think Duke Johnson is underrated.
Agreed.
Bears though will win this game.
Yeah, you put Duke Johnson on a better team and watch out. That kid would be great.
Yeah.
You put a lot of people on that team.
I think even Isaiah Crowell has some great talent.
Well, look at what Alex Mack has done in Atlanta after leaving Cleveland. Oh my God, he's one of the best centers in the game. He was still one of the best centers in the game in Cleveland, and now he's just absolutely dynamite. He's incredible. Bears, because Cleveland, you got to keep that perfect season alive. You got to. You've had 2 chances. Your strongest chance was losing in overtime to the Patriots. I'm sorry, the Packers. We kind of argued back and forth, and we kind of came to the conclusion that they kind of maybe had a shot against the Ravens too, and they pissed that away. I don't think they've got a solid chance of breaking the losing streak this week. I think the Bears are going to see that easy target, and they're just going to go for it. So, the Bears.
Yeah. I'm going Bears too. Interestingly, though, with Kaiser's 18th and 19th interceptions last week, he's still 9 interceptions shy of Peyton Manning's rookie season record.
Peyton Manning had a bad rookie year. He did.
So, something to shoot for, Deshaun. You've got 2 games left.
Well, you look at Jared Goff's rookie season last year and what he's done this season. Rookie season is all about becoming acclimated with the league and just figuring out how to play at a pro level. And once you get that figured out, and if you get the right coaching in place, it should all come together. Assuming the talent level is there as well, which clearly it is with Goff. And Carson Wentz, too. Wentz was not particularly awesome. He didn't set the world on fire his rookie year either.
No, rookie year's hard, so.
Yeah.
30 years ago, quarterbacks would get drafted, and then they'd, study on the bench for a couple years or more, 3, 4, 5 years before they got to start. And now they're expected to just start right away.
Which is nonsense.
The game is so much different than college, so I think that's an unfair expectation that very few people can pull out. But
when the Cardinals draft a quarterback next year, that kid better be ready. Because holy shit!
Honestly, I'm willing to wait for a couple years for them to get all their crap together.
I'm willing to once again take next year off and wait for that rookie quarterback to just start the rookie quarterback. Let him get his licks. Let him take his lumps. Let him get good. And we'll all come back next season. The season after next season. We'll enjoy that.
Maybe.
We get the 14th pick in the draft now. We're not going to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
Moving
on. This is my game of the week. And it's a rematch from week 14. Falcons playing in New Orleans against the Saints. When do you guys go?
No, you go. It's your game of the week.
Your guys' game of the week?
It might be.
Did you think of a game of the week? Because that's it.
My game of the week is the Jaguars in the night. No, this is probably it for the game of the week. It's just not a great lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Lady and gentleman.
This is a rough week for football.
It's funny, DT, that you said that, because honestly, the game that I want to watch is the Jaguars 49ers, because I don't know. I don't think anything crazy is going to happen, but that's one that I'm really interested in seeing. Anyway, this is a game of the week. I'll call it for me too.
As well.
Yeah. All right, I'll go. This is going to go really long ways to deciding division champ. Falcons beat the Saints in week 14, but the Saints are still favored this week. Falcons are playing on a short week.
They look bad against Tampa too.
Yeah, but I'm going Saints. I think the Falcons could pull off an upset, but I don't think they will. So I'm rolling with Nolans.
Yeah. I can't in good conscience take the Falcons while I'm wearing this jersey. That would just be weird. Even though I've picked many times against the Cardinals this season while wearing a Cardinals jersey. And I think I've picked against the Broncos a couple times while wearing a Broncos jersey, if memory serves.
Also easy.
Yeah. Saints are just rolling. Falcons are kind of chugging along. This is an important game. That's what makes it the game of the week. It's my game of the week as well. Let's just make it universal. Is it the universal game of the week? Cool.
It is.
Yeah. That being said, it's going to be the Saints. They're just playing for so much right now. And I think they're just going to, especially in a divisional game, at home, they're going to light it up.
Alex?
Yeah, I think I watched the Saints game was one I had my eyes on particular last week, and I think they played kind of terribly, honestly, against the Jets. I knew it was going to be a little bit more of a matchup than maybe some people might expect going in, but they did not look that great. I think the play calling was way off, but then in the second half they came out, still didn't look good, and then they made some really huge corrections, and it showed because they came out swinging. I mean, Mark Ingram, they're really good at garbage time touchdowns, if you know the Saints.
Dude.
And Mark Ingram, oh my goodness, decided, I'm done with this game. I want to go sit down on the bench and hang out for a bit and let the team just kind of soak in this victory, and busted out 50-something, 60-yard touchdown. It was insane.
Yeah.
But what my biggest takeaway from last week with the Saints was that Drew Brees found Michael Thomas a ton. And I don't think he's been able to do that quite as much this season, at least not consistently in one game. And if they can kind of continue that trend into the playoffs, they'll look better. I don't think it was a Super Bowl ready team that I saw last week, but I definitely think it was a playoff ready team. So, yeah, Saints.
Cool. Next up, this is another garbage game. The Lions are playing in Cincinnati against the Bengals. Alex, you go first.
You're right. It's another garbage game. I'm going to go with the Lions. Lesser of two evils, I guess, is the reason why. I don't know. I don't like either of these teams, but Lions.
Yeah, I mean, Marvin Lewis has already said he's going to quit at the end of the season. So that pretty much just flattens the tires if they had any air left in them. Lions are still alive, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, the Packers have been eliminated from playoff contention. Lions are still alive. They got something to play for. Bengals have nothing to play for. No, Lions all day long. This is going to be, it's going to be sad to watch, honestly. Not if you're a Lions fan.
Yeah, I'm going Lions too. Stafford's gonna have a beautifully large day.
Beautifully large.
Beautifully large. I think he's gonna have a field day.
Yeah.
So.
Beautifully large.
Beautifully large.
Might be the title of this podcast.
Strong.
Matthew Stafford, beautifully large. Oh, I hope he sees that and he's like, oh, yes I am.
Embrace it, Matt. Embrace it. And then I think we'll do this game and then do halftime.
Yeah.
Well, we forgot to mention that it was a Wizard of Oz game, but moving on.
Yes, Wizard of Oz game.
There's nothing magical or mysterious about this game at all. This is not a fairy tale. This is a tragedy, maybe even a horror movie.
I expect the Bengals to be flattened by a house.
The Bengals are going to get flattened by a house.
Yeah.
Totally.
There's a delay, so they made that joke at the same time.
Yeah. Great minds.
Did Supreme Leader Snoke bridge your minds together? Or sorry, spoiler alert. Not really a spoiler.
Not really.
We've got to do the Kylo Ray hands, touching hands.
This is gonna be my beat.
Reaching out.
That movie was so.
And that's halftime, ladies and gentlemen. No, we got one more.
We got one more. This will be quick. Be quick. The Buccaneers are playing against the Panthers. The Bucs are garbage. The Panthers will win. They will roll over Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So I heard that Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Snoop Lion, a.k.a. Sean Combs, wants to purchase the Panthers because they're going to go up on sale after the season ends because the owner of the team is under some very strong allegations of sexual harassment, possibly assault. I don't know the details.
Who isn't these days? I mean, really.
So Puff Diddy, whatever he wants to call himself these days, he wants to buy the team.
Wait, so are you talking? You said Snoop something.
I was making a joke.
Okay, all right, but it's I haven't been paying attention.
Right, AKA Winnie the Bish. Yeah. Yeah, he wants to buy the team allegedly. I don't know if he's being serious. Probably not being serious. He wants to buy the team and kick out Cam Newton and install Kaepernick as the starting quarterback.
And then the NFL became a political agenda, everybody.
Oh, became? No, it's been that way for a while.
No, more than
that was the highlight of news regarding Carolina this week was not only the owner ousting himself because he's being accused of some pretty heinous things, but also that Puff Daddy wants to buy the team and make Kaepernick the starting quarterback.
Wait, so if sexual harassment allegations are enough to make an NFL owner sell the team, then why can't we force Donald Trump to sell everything? And then just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should start. And Paige had this idea. We should start a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe.
You should buy the team
for the second draft, where we purchase
the Panthers.
Carolina Panthers. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put a link in the comments down below where you can go fund us to purchase the Carolina Panthers. I figure we can buy it for maybe like $150, something like that, right?
147.
Well, it's got to be more than like a house in Detroit right now. So maybe like $800.
$150 right now? Or something?
No. I think the real estate market's getting better in Detroit.
175.
And then you guys can all root for alongside us for the Carolina Velociraptors.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That works.
The Carolina footballers. The
Carolina Caroliners.
The Carolina Carolers.
Carolina Steamboats. The Carolina. The Sweet Carolinas.
The Sweet Carolina.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Oh my God, that would be perfect.
The Sweet Carolinas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to make it a tradition where Neil Diamond comes out and throws the first pass.
There you go.
Yeah. Naturally, of course.
I think this is perfect.
I think we should, yeah. If you're not compelled at this point to donate, then I guess you
just remember we have copyright.
Not a fan of America. And, we should get Neil Diamond on board too. I'm sure he'd be on
yeah.
Dude, I bet he could front some of the money.
See, this is why we keep Paige around. These amazing ideas. Yeah.
Neil Diamond is good for at least 30 of those $150.
Mm-hmm.
We might even be able to get him to pony up like $50. I feel like I could talk him into it.
I'm gonna reach out to him on Twitter. We're gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
And that's halftime, ladies and gentlemen.
Sweet Caroliners.
I think it's time for halftime for DT to get more beer.
I don't think
DT now has 2 weeks off. So his whole mission in life is video games, beer.
I might fill this glass up with Buffalo Trace whiskey.
We should switch to whiskey. Do you have whiskey? Oh, all right.
We might.
We're gonna go to halftime, and we may or may not be back, you guys.
we may just come back to just. I'm gonna have to reach up from underneath the table and just hit the thing, and then Alex will just take it on from there.
And I'm gonna pick for Paige and for DT.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I want to abdicate my picks.
And Paige picks the Texans against the Steelers.
Oh dear. All right, it's halftime. So that was halftime. And this next set of games is so bad that we switched from beer to whiskey.
We're drinking Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace.
Out of small snifter glasses.
Yeah. So you guys might want to switch to something stronger too.
Not because the video is going to be bad, but because it's going to be,
The games.
Yeah. They're not good.
So, the first not good game. This is probably one of the least terrible of the ones coming up. The Dolphins are playing it in Kansas City against the Chiefs.
Paige.
I'm going Chiefs. Miami's on consecutive road games. They've got nothing to play for. And the Chiefs are playing for division title. And the Chiefs, they had a major slide, and then they're now, kind of on the rise again. I don't know if we're gonna go like this steep. It's gonna be like a pretty
because
slight
of
grade.
us. We made that happen.
Yep, it's all us. Andy Reid, thanks for listening. So I think they'll continue the new win streak.
Yeah. It's going to be the Chiefs. I don't think there's really any shadow of a doubt what's going to happen this week. We told Andy Reid to settle down and stop doing the thing, and he stopped doing the thing, and the team got better. Some friends of mine who are Chiefs fans said I was crazy for thinking that maybe Andy Reid might be a little over the hill, maybe done. I don't know, but I'm kind of the mind that as long as he keeps reserving himself from play calling, then the team is in better shape than they are when he is play calling. So cheers to you, Andy Reid. Stop. Just stop. Let the team do the thing. Chiefs.
Yeah, despite Kenyon Drake being one of my best pickups this year in fantasy, the Chiefs are definitely going to win this one. Kenyon Drake single-handedly, well, not single-handedly, because Robbie Gould was the hero.
He ruined my playoffs.
Got me into the ship, so the Chiefs are going to win this one, but it is, like you said, Paige, it's going to be one of the better terrible games that we have at the back half of this episode.
Yeah, I'm always, though, surprised at how well defenses do against Kansas City. Like, even when Andy Reid is, like, taking a step back, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to start Alex Smith this week against the Dolphins rather than play Drew Brees against the Falcons. And
I feel like that's a great,
Yeah. I would be afraid of Trufant,
cornerback
for the Atlanta Falcons. I would absolutely go against that Dolphins defense, no question. I hope you win.
I do too.
Thank you.
We're pulling for you.
So, yeah.
All right, so next up,
guys, the Broncos won a game.
They've won 2 straight.
They've won 2. They're on a streak.
They're on a streak. It's officially a streak.
And I don't want that to happen. I wanted them to lose out.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, draft
dear
another.
God. So Broncos are playing in Washington. Not technically Washington, but whatever. They're playing against the Redskins. Alex.
If I didn't pick the Saints Falcons for game of the week, this one is one that's like, who? What? It's not game of the week because it's a good game. It's going to be a terrible game. I don't know. I've put my faith in the Redskins and they've failed me. I've also put my faith in the Broncos repeatedly and they've failed me. So I'm torn.
This is a bad game.
It's terrible. I'm so torn. I don't know. Because I don't know, I'm just going to go with the home team. I'm going to go Broncos.
Redskins are home team.
No, I mean like my home team.
Oh, your home team.
Okay. The homer pick.
Yeah,
okay.
the homer pick. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm going to go Broncos, but I'm so split right now.
I'm not split at all. It's going to be the Redskins. Who's going to be playing quarterback for the Broncos?
It is quarterback by committee. So Simeon's not playing, right? So it's either
he's
Paxton.
out. His shoulder's done.
Yeah, so it's Paxton or Brock.
It'll be Brock Lobster. He'll be in there. He showed up in the second half against
at least like 2 picks.
He showed up in the second half against the Colts. They've shown the ability to score points, but the defense isn't what it once was, and their offense is still all over the place. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think the Redskins are good though.
Neither of these teams is good. I'm going Redskins. Kind of in those situations, like I've said, 3-4 weeks ago. Typically, when I'm torn, I go home team.
Yeah, it's been paying off for you too. So.
And
Redskins are a really good home team. Broncos have not
they
been
play well
a good
at home.
away team.
Yeah, so I'm going Redskins.
Yeah.
Next up, this could be an interesting game.
Could be.
The Chargers are playing against the Jets, and the Jets are at home. I can go first.
Okay.
I'm going Chargers. The Chargers are live, but they need some help. And the Jets at this point are they're playing out the string. They're just, the Chargers, I picked them last week against the Chiefs, and that was very clearly a mistake. But I think that the Chargers are the better team. And I don't think the Jets are as good as the Chiefs are. And during halftime we were talking, I was like, remind me, and then I was like, I'm just going to type it in my notes. Antonio Gates is old. He's old.
She typed that in all caps.
I did, all caps. Antonio Gates is old.
Antonio Gates is old.
And even with, Hunter Henry, this last half of the season has been a pretty great tight end for them. They won't have Hunter Henry because a Chiefs defensive end or tackle, I can't remember, lacerated the guy's kidney. So, that's a fierce hit.
Well, we're lacerating our kidneys right now, so yeah.
Liver, kidneys.
One of those organs.
Yeah. You can live with one kidney.
You wouldn't want to.
You can. Pretty easily.
You wouldn't be able to drink alcohol, though.
That'd be.
Hey, you can live with one liver also. So.
Because we only have one liver, but your liver will regenerate. You can cut it in half. But yeah, I'm going Chargers. I just don't have. I think the Chargers will get it back together this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go next, and I'm going to take the Chargers as well because we've pretty much seen that, oddly enough, Josh McCown was the heart of that team. For the Jets, they lost that, and they lost something big when they lost him. Chargers are still going well. Phillip Rivers, I did not expect it, was voted into the Pro Bowl. They got a fire lit under them, and they're still in contention for the AFC West.
Joey freaking Bosa.
Yeah, the defense is still solid.
And Melvin Ingram.
I feel like the Chargers are gonna maybe actually steamroll the Jets this week. I don't see it being a close game.
So I'm gonna pick alongside you. I'm gonna pick the Chargers, but I don't think they're gonna steamroll the Jets. I think the Jets were formidable against. They weren't formidable. They were. They put up a solid enough front against the Saints, who I consider the far better team. And even though I did say earlier the Saints came out flat last week, I'm still sort of torn. I thought about maybe the Jets might be a pick where, this week. You're right that the Chargers are the better team. The Chargers are going to win this game, but I'm not ruling out the Jets.
I think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Jets will give the Chargers the run for their money. Yeah. All right, next up. I'm actually kind of intrigued to watch this game. I don't think it's going to be fun, but I'm kind of I'm not going to kick it out of bed.
Are you talking about the game or Jimmy Garoppolo?
The game. Definitely the game. Jimmy G's not my type. So Jaguars are playing in San Francisco against the 49ers. Alex, you want to kick us off? Jaguars.
They're going to win this game. I said earlier this might be my game of the week or game to watch of the week. It's not really it's not my game of the week, but I'm interested to see what happens. Robbie Gould almost single-handedly got me into the championship for the fantasy league, and Jimmy G is doing good things. I think the 49ers have a little bit. They have some heat. They have some passion right now. I don't know where that came from. I think they just don't want to be associated with those bottom tier teams, and so they're trying to show that they've got something in the postseason against some teams that we would have automatically just written off as better teams. So, but the Jacksonville defense is fantastic. The Jacksonville offense is similarly fantastic. I mean, I picked up Chris Ivory, put him in as a substitute for Fournette last weekend, and was vastly disappointed because Jacksonville could score with pretty much anybody they wanted. And that says something about the defense they played against, but at the same time, There's versatility on that offense deeper than I think you kind of recognize. So I'm going to go Jacksonville.
I'll go next, and I'm also intrigued by this game because of what we've seen out of Jimmy Garoppolo. Like Alex said, somehow the Niners have found a little bit of fire, and I think that is due in no small part to Jimmy Garoppolo being under center. He was good as a backup for the Patriots. I think he actually won the game he played when he was the backup for.
He's now 5-0 as a starter.
Yeah,
yeah.
The kid is good. In hindsight, there are a lot of teams that should have gone after Jimmy Garoppolo.
The Cardinals.
Garoppolo when he was on. I wasn't going to say it. Wasn't going to go there. But there were a lot of teams that should have gone after him when he was on the trading block. And I think Bill Belichick actually said that the Browns wanted him really badly. And he said no to the Browns because he thought the Niners would do right by Garoppolo more so than the Browns would have, which is admirable. You can tell Belichick liked the kid a lot.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was, groomed and vetted by Belichick and whatnot proves that the kid's got something. And now we're seeing it. He's turning around this struggling team, and he's kicking ass. I'm interested because I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win this game. I think that's without question. But I'm interested to see what this kid who's lit this fire under the struggling team is going to do against probably the best defense in the league. That's what intrigues me, is seeing what Garoppolo, who's this rising star, does against this absolutely dominant effing defense. So it's going to be fun to watch. I do actually hope that Garoppolo pulls something out. I hope he, again, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win, but I hope that Garoppolo continues to surprise us, because it's always fun to see these rising star quarterbacks come from relative obscurity, or maybe not as successful for a season or whatnot, and blossom into something great. We've seen it with Goff, we've seen it with Wentz, we saw it with Deshaun Watson before he was injured. It's fun to see. It's exciting to see. It makes football exciting. It gets you excited for the future of the league to see these teams maybe sort of kind of formulating under these these blossoming quarterbacks. So, Niners are my divisional rival, being a Cardinals fan first and foremost, despite the fact that I'm wearing this jersey right now, but we've explained that in previous weeks. I would not begrudge the Niners if they became good with Garoppolo in their center, because that would be fun. It'd be exciting and neat to watch. So, Jaguars, but now I'm on Paige's optimism train for the Niners, because I think they may have a good future ahead of them. So,
yeah. So I'm going Jaguars. It's the obvious pick. I do think the Jaguars need to be careful. This falls under one of those trap game scenarios.
It does.
Definitely.
And so, so they do have to be careful. The Niners are 3-0 with Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's 5-0 as a starter. I think it's funny too. So if you guys haven't read, and we don't usually talk about the things that we read, but I read a lot of stuff online in preparation for this, and just because I'm a football fan, and
it's very clear that you're more well-read and influenced by education in your picks than maybe me and Alex are.
No. I mean, we all come at it from a different angle.
Sure.
True.
But
which is what makes this show so entertaining.
Right. Yeah, we all have different perspectives. So, and that's why I like hanging out with you guys. But I saw some things. So there's this. So every week CBS does this thing or USA Today. I always get the first thing that I say is never the right organization. Anyways, USA Today, there's a writer that does 40 Things We Learned this week. And it's about football.
Yeah.
So I saw this week that apparently, so a lot of people are down on Blake Bortles. I don't think Blake Bortles is the greatest quarterback, whatever. He's not a terrible quarterback. He's a serviceable quarterback.
Sure.
And he seems to manage a game okay, which is better than what the Cardinals can say about any of their quarterbacks. But Jadeveon Clowney called Blake Bortles trash after the Texans lost to the Jaguars. Statistics. Also, I'm a stats fan because numbers. That's what I do all day. Numbers and talk to people. 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. That's not trash, Jadeveon. Not trash.
When you make a statement like that after you lose, that's sour grapes, and it makes you look like a dick. If you win and you call the other quarterback trash, it's somewhat endearing trash talk. But when you come from a position where you just got your ass beat, then you just kind of look like a word I won't say on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because
And the Jaguars had 464 yards of offense, and Leonard Fournette was on the freaking bench.
Clowney got walked over, and he had the gumption to say that the offense that walked over him was trash.
He just called Bortles trash.
I will say
when you call out the quarterback like that, you're calling out the entire offense. And that's not something you should be saying when you just got your ass handed to you, like one cheek at a time. Like, no.
Yeah.
I will say Clowney, I think, Clowney's one of the college prospects that came into the draft, and I was just hyped to see him play in the league because the guy's a monster, absolute monster. But I said earlier when we were talking about the Jaguars, I guess we still are, but he's. That Jaguar offense was able to run all over. Tommy Bohannon, the fullback, scored twice. Yeah. Like what? Like Mickens and I don't know, like people that I had to look up. Like I had to kind of dig a little bit deeper and find out what was going on because Ivory wasn't the go-to. Yeldon wasn't even the go-to. They were scoring points with whoever they had. And that shows, that shows strength. To me, that shows strength in an offense.
Yeah, and that
shows versatility.
That's a big part of what we've waxed eloquent, so we don't need to again because I don't ever want to do it ever again.
Very eloquent. So eloquent
about Belichick and his home for wayward boys. But that's very much his approach. It's you plug people in, and I love seeing that. I'm like, I didn't even know he was on that team, or who is that? Mm-hmm. I love seeing that because that means that you have a quarterback who's a game manager you can trust to make decisions. So maybe he's not the flashiest guy on the field or in the league, but he's serviceable. That's big,
right?
And I wanted to bring it up earlier because that's the thing that stuck with me so much out of this entire season. So much as your thing at the beginning of the season when we were talking about Belichick's home for wayward boys, because it's so true. Like we were just this game has so much traction, and then we're talking about it more than any of the others because Jimmy Garoppolo is the weird kind of like orphan wayward boy that got away from the got away from the orphanage, and now he's
Andy. I like that.
And now he's doing great things in San Francisco.
Yeah,
but if you look at everybody else that goes there, they show up to New England, and it's like, wow, they were a powerhouse talent, and the other team that had them before misused them, other than maybe like Brandon Cooks or somebody like that who we knew had talent and just showed up there.
Yeah, and I think that's I think you were definitely skeptical of my thing about the Niners early on in the season, that I was hopeful for them. Not like this season's not as bad, and but when you're in a full rebuild, that's okay. Yeah. And this, the Niners fans that I talk to, most of my clients are in the Bay Area, so I end up talking a lot of Raiders and Niners. And the Niners fans are okay with that, and they should be, because they recognize that what was going on in San Francisco was really bad. Sure. And what's happening now is a full-on rebuild. And they're doing it. They're taking time. They're doing it right. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be a huge piece of that. I'm really optimistic about the Niners' future in the next 3 or 4 seasons. I'm excited to watch them play football, and I really like watching Jimmy under center. So the Jaguars are going to win this game, but the Niners have some great stuff on the horizon.
In a really weird way, I almost feel like this is our game of the week.
I think
this is what I said earlier. It's like the game that I want to watch, but it's not the game of the week.
It's intriguing.
It's interesting.
It's intriguing.
Yeah,
in
for
a way
people
that,
like the students of football.
Yeah, people who are actually interested in the ins and outs of football and the mechanics of everything. It's maybe the most intriguing, like philosophically and fundamentally, game of this week, which is kind of neat. So.
Definitely.
But I bet you we won't get it in the Arizona market because all we get is the f***ing Cardinals game, and then everything else is gone. So I have to resort to watching a red zone because f*** you, Arizona.
Yeah, and these will they'll be on at the same time.
Yeah.
But next up, I'm also kind of intrigued by this game.
Not after what we saw last week. No.
It could be interesting. The Seahawks are playing at Jerry World against the Cowboys. I'll go first.
Okay, because I feel like Alex and I are going to... You know what? Let's let me and Alex go first, and you can round it up, because I feel like you've got way more to say about this game.
Not that much. I have 2 cents.
I will go first. It's going to be the Cowboys. Seahawks, you're done. Goodbye.
So long.
Hasta la vista.
You were...
Not good.
I don't remember there being 11 Seahawks players on the field anytime the Rams offense was on the field last week. I all I remember was Todd Gurley just taking the ball and be like, oh, and walking into the end zone 4 times. You guys have been decimated by injuries, and it's not your fault, Seattle. You're maybe when you're healthy again, you'll be a relatively good team, but this is a house of cards where literally there are no cards standing. You got Russell Wilson. And
it's a deck of cards on a table, scattered everywhere.
Yeah, and it's not even Seattle's fault. It's not like they lost one key piece and everything fell apart.
They got screwed.
They just lost everything.
Yeah.
You guys are done. Cowboys are on the rise again. They figured out how to function without Zeke Elliott. I think Zeke comes back next week.
Zeke is back this week.
He's back this week. Oh, jeez, effing Christ! Goodbye, Seattle. This is gonna be oh my God, he's gonna come out with such a chip on his shoulder. Zeke is going to come out angry. He's going to be literally dragging Seattle defenders, by his ankles into the end zone. It's going to be Cowboys all day. And it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, so I was up going into the later games last week, just barely. Like, just barely. And my opponent had Doug Baldwin. And I think on any other team, and maybe earlier in the season, Doug Baldwin is a weapon. And he got shut down, and I knew he was going to get shut down. Even when Antonio Brown went out of the game, who was my kind of like surefire, he goes off like he should, I will win this game. He went out with 2.7 points. Yeah. And I was still saying, I'm not that scared about it because I don't think Doug Baldwin's going to put up points, and he didn't. No. Seahawks just don't have it. Cowboys beat the Raiders, who I think every now and then will still show up. We've been talking late mid-season. I don't know how... Week 11 to week 14 maybe had some fire underneath them. I think they're a little bit less than that now, but yeah, the Cowboys are going to win this game for certain.
It's going to be a landslide. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys are 8-6.
There you
Cowboys are 8-6.
Okay.
Both teams still have a shot at the playoffs, though. But
not after this game.
But the Seahawks are a shell of their former selves for sure. And with Zeke back, I mean, it's unanimous. We're all going Cowboys.
Telling you,
I feel like in my gut, it'll either. I think it could be either like a weirdly close game, or it'll be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be like kind of middle of the road. Like, it's either going to be close or it's going to be a massive blowout. And I suspect it'll be a blowout.
Yeah. What's going to happen...
Unless Pete Carroll works his, weird magic.
No, there's no magic left. What's going to happen is the Cowboys are going to watch that game tape of the Seahawks versus the Rams, and they're going to be looking at Todd Gurley, and they're going to be like, Zeke, you can get 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, they're going to copy Sean McVay and his gorgeous play calling.
Yeah, no, Zeke is going to get at least 3 touchdowns. That's my very lukewarm take. He's going to get 3 touchdowns against Seattle.
And then Morris will come in after they seat.
And Dez will have something, and
they'll sit Zeke and yeah. And Morris will come in and score another 2. Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised to see the Cowboys take this one.
Yeah. Next up, I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
Giants are playing in Phoenix against the Cardinals. Cardinals are going back to Drew Stanton from Blaine Gabbert. Praise Jesus. I mean, no, there's no praise Jesus because this team is on fire and not in a good way.
It's bad.
And the Giants found their offense a little bit last week.
Shockingly so.
Yeah. So I'm going Giants. I think it's technically, I think the last I looked, this morning, really early this morning.
Yeah.
The Cardinals were favored in Vegas, but I'm going Giants.
I'll go next. I'm going Giants as well. Being a Cardinals fan in Arizona, it's been really interesting this season watching the rise and fall of Blaine Gabbert in the eyes of our fans. We beat Jacksonville, and everybody was like, "Oh, Blaine Gabbert's the quarterback of the future." And
yeah, even Bruce Arians bought into that
Bruce
crap.
Arians came out and said, "I'd be very comfortable with Blaine Gabbert being the starter next season." And then we lost a couple more games, and now everybody's calling for Blaine Gabbert's head, and they all want Baker Mayfield in the draft, even though there's no effing way we're gonna get Baker Mayfield with the 14th pick in the draft. Unless we
I want Louisville's quarterback.
I like Louisville's quarterback too. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna get Lamar Jackson either, but that's okay.
So just being a Cardinals fan and just watching the teams rise and the very steady fall over these last 3 or 4 seasons has just been, I don't know, eye-opening. I don't know. It's been very strange. It's been an emotional roller coaster, and it's really weird. None of this weighs into my pick. My pick is the Giants. The Giants shocked me past this last week against they played the Eagles. I actually played the Eagles defense because I thought the Giants weren't really going to put up much of a show, and I thought I was going to be a lock-in for the championship that Alex is now in against my opponent. I should have played the Rams, who had left on my bench, because I thought somehow, some way, the Seahawks were going to, get inside their heads and Russell Wilson was going to make something happen, and I could not have been more wrong. The Giants, after that whole situation with McAdoo and Eli, they found a renewed spirit, and they're going to walk right over Arizona, which is honestly fine with me because it keeps Arizona locked into a relatively decent draft pick. Not a great pick. But
provided
still,
we don't spend it on a defensive tackle.
Yeah, but still, I mean, we're 2 picks away from middle of the road, like literally the middle of the road in the league right now. And all we need is just some losses just to hold on to that somewhat decent draft pick and maybe set ourselves up for a decent opportunity.
They're still going to have to they're going to have to trade up.
They're going to trade up. But,
I don't know if they're gonna. I'm not predicting that because I think our front office is full of crap.
But I feel like giving away the 14th overall pick versus like the 17th or 18th overall pick is way more easy to sell without having to, sell the farm.
Yeah. Giants, please win. Cardinals, please lose.
Yeah. No, Eli looks pretty good. That whole offense looks pretty good. The defense looks shockingly good. Cardinals are just a dumpster fire. They don't know what they're going to do with themselves. They're already, the front office is already saying it's going to be a full rebuild. There's going to be sweeping changes, in the words of Steve Keim, which I don't believe for a second. But
hopefully with Steve Keim landing somewhere outside of Arizona.
Damn. And Bruce Arians, too. It's going to be the Giants.
Alex?
Just the better team.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not much more to be said, except for the fact that the Giants, I always called Baltimore my question mark pick because they've been that team. Now they're less of a question mark. They're more of a exclamation point. They've been very direct. They want to do something this season. Yeah. The Giants are my question mark now, and if I look back at the rest of the season, or like earlier than this, it's every now and then they pull out some random game where they pull out a surprise. Last week they put up a showing against, they were 2-11. They put up a showing against an 11-2 team. That's nuts. Like, you should not be able to do that this late in the season. And it says a lot about the like inconsistency in the Giants offense this year. The Giants are going to win this game. You guys already said it. Cardinals should lose. They need to lose, to be honest. So I don't know. The Giants have some versatility in the backfield that they're trying to show now, but I don't know. Eli can find Sterling Shepard, and that's how they're going to win this game. So
yeah,
that's it.
Moving on.
Steelers done.
Yep,
Moving on.
Steelers.
Do we need to talk about this?
Steelers are playing in Houston against the Texans. Jadeveon Clowney is going to say something stupid after they lose.
A terrible quarterback. I don't think he's that good, actually. I think he doesn't belong in he should be a second-round ballot Hall of Fame pick instead of a first-round ballot.
He'll be first.
Antonio Brown is not that good of a wide receiver.
Oh, he's not in this game? What?
Ryan is that good. Le'Veon Bell, no.
Yeah, the Steelers are going to roll over the Texans. They're going to roll over them.
It's going to be the Steelers.
Yeah. I'm looking forward. I honestly consider picking up Antonio Brown's out of the game, and that shifts the way the defense reacts to the Steelers' offense. But they still don't have a way to fix Le'Veon Bell. They can't do that. And so the pass game for the Steelers, I think, is always going to be open. That's why my like sleeper pick this week. If you're in the finals and you need somebody like I do, I'm picking up.
Steelers. I agree.
Well, Jesse James maybe. I'm picking up Martavis Bryant because I think he's going to split it with Juju, and I think they're it's a crapshoot on who's going to get the touchdown, but I think the Steelers offense is going to run all over Houston.
Yep. Moving on, let's wrap this mother up.
Last pick. The Raiders are playing in Philly against the Eagles.
Eagles.
I'm going Eagles,
I think.
too.
Yeah, I think Nick Foles.
By the way, I accidentally hit my glass against the microphone stand. That was not a ding for our pick. No, that was me doing this by accident.
I think Nick Foles showed. I think there was some weakness in the Eagles defense that was kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Revealed last week. Sure. But at the same time, I don't think the Raiders are going to be able to capitalize on that.
No, I think
struggling.
Nick Foles played well enough to like really kind of carve a hole into like Carson Wentz's MVP like bid if he even had anything left.
Wait, hold on.
Whoa.
Did you just say something nice about Foles?
So
I'm
last
gonna go
week,
throw up after
we had this talk because of the whole Wildcat thing, but like regardless of that, Nick Foles, if you mash him up with Carson Wentz side by side, they look very similar.
They have very similar playing styles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he threw 4 touchdowns, 237 yards, and no interceptions. I mean, and he was only sacked once, so proof that their offensive line is good.
I firmly believe that in a better situation, Foles should be a starter in this league. He needs some time. He hasn't really had a fair shake in this league.
He's been around for a while, though.
He had to deal with the likes of Chip Kelly, and that was awful. So, I mean, put him in a better situation, a better offense, a better scheme, a better quarterback coach, a better head coach. I think he could be really good.
I don't know if it's so much that as he's a solid quarterback who's behind a pretty great offensive line. I mean, that offensive line is stout, and they do their jobs really well.
Sure.
And so...
I mean, that could be said of any quarterback in the league, though.
Well, but, I mean, there's a reason it's a team.
Right.
You know, it's like we've postulated before, like put David Johnson behind the best offensive line in the league. Will he surpass Le'Veon Bell? I don't know, but I think that you could make an argument that he is Le'Veon Bell's equal. Because, I mean, he's got better hands than Le'Veon does, so he's more of a dual threat than Le'Veon is.
I think if David Johnson played for the Rams this season, David Johnson would be just unstoppable.
That'd be a fun duo to watch, Gurley and Johnson.
It would be impossible because they both reach a point where you have to pay them both their initial salary after their rookie contracts. But my God, they would give Kamara and Ingram a run for that money instantly.
Yeah.
So where would you guys send Foles if it wasn't for the Eagles?
Oh my!
Because I'm looking at the teams. I'm thinking like maybe the Jets, maybe Houston, the Redskins.
Those are teams that he wouldn't flourish under. He needs a solid offensive line. He needs really good receivers. He needs time to develop, and he's never really been given that, honestly.
So Jacksonville, you need a defense to bolster you.
There you go. Jacksonville would be a dynamite place for Foles, I think. Absolutely, yeah.
Because you'd still have like Marquise Lee, you'd have like somebody to throw to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he essentially would have to manage the game.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what makes, like we said earlier, that's what makes Blake Bortles look.
Well,
because he manages the game. The defense is their job.
Manages the
game. But I mean, like Blake Bortles has done when you can see like when the defense flounders, like against Arizona, that team.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, the offense. I mean, the offense has to be on point for a regular season.
So wait, are we all going Eagles?
I think we're all going
Eagles.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason not to go Eagles.
No, I mean the Raiders are done.
Yeah. That game last week for the Raiders was terrible. Derek Carr, dude, I I like the kid. I feel
I do
bad
too.
for him. He's gotten such a bad shake the last couple of seasons. That situation where he fumbled the ball towards the end of the game last week was just incredibly unfortunate. It was just sad to watch. It was, even if you're a bona fide, born and raised Raider hater like Alex, like watching what happened to Derek Carr last week was just. You don't want to. That doesn't.
It doesn't feel good to watch somebody go
No,
through
it
that.
doesn't breed schadenfreude. It's just sad to watch. It's just not.
Yeah. I will say this about the Eagles. They need to tighten up that defense.
Yeah.
That defense has got some, like, gaping holes.
Don't I effing know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those, like, the free safety is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're still a good team.
And that was week 16. So join us next week when we're the official owners of the Panthers, and I think we've decided we're actually going to change the name to the Sweet Carolinas. We're going to get Neil Diamond on board. He's going to help us front the cost for the team. And
Yeah, and follow us on Twitter, because DT will tweet at Neil Diamond from our account.
Mm-hmm.
And then you retweet the hell out of that.
and get Neil Diamond to help us
And
buy
then
the
get
Panthers.
legitimately get Neil Diamond on board with us.
And
Because that would be great.
And we promise we'll keep Cam Newton as a quarterback because, we've said some things about Cam Newton this season, but he's still definitely the starter of that team. And
Hey, I
He
love
is.
Christian McCaffrey.
McCaffrey's great. Yeah.
So,
They're doing
Yeah.
good things.
So,
yeah.
so this is the spark that'll light the fire that'll help us buy the Panthers.
Which will become the Sweet Carolinas.
So thank you.
Thanks
once
for hanging
again.
out, you guys.
We love you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. And Happy Hanukkah. And Kwanzaa.
And,
And-
Christmas Kwanzaa.
and non-denominational celebrations of
which I think
holidays.
already happened.
And what's the Seinfeld? Like you're airing a grave of grievances.
I don't know.
Candle
I feel
nights.
like we've aired
Happy
a lot-
candle
we've-
nights.
Yeah, we've aired a lot of grievances. So
All-
happy that.
Always airing grievances.
Happy beer, happy whiskey.
Yeah.
Happy.
Have fun, sleep in, play video games, drink whatever you want, eat whatever you want, and spend time with your loved ones. And we'll see you guys next week.
Let's
How do
get
you guys
into
wanna
some
end?
football.
I'll go in.
How do you guys
I was
wanna
gonna
end
say I've got one if we want to start with the Broncos, but
it? Just keeps interrupting me. Just kidding.
I have
Just
a
trying to say my
non-football
piece.
related, well, slightly football and
He's
whiskey
he's
related.
interrupting you. He's on a tear. It's like how we interrupted my fantasy football season. And yes, okay. Oh,
I was gonna say, well,
I was gonna say.
I was like, what is like the waist level thing has me a little concerned.
Yeah, I mean, if we had to bring up sexual harassment allegations against you, we've got video evidence. So, yeah. Oh, wow, how'd you do that? Was that magic? That was a magic trick.